Thank you, Craig. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was pretty spot on. All right, Brandon, what'd you send me from CBS Sports? Oh, I knew it wouldn't be something sports related.
ESPN 18.
They don't know the GameCube? It's a bunch of college
No.
kids trying to figure out what game console this is.
They're like, I don't know.
There's
It's like
no
it's a
way.
projector, a 3D printer. Like, look at the picture. It says Nintendo GameCube.
I mean, these kids were born in like
2000.
no, like 07, 08.
I'm about to say
Yeah.
they would have to be like 2006,
Yeah.
2007.
In the 2000s. I know what I'm talking about.
Oh gosh.
Eesh.
Oh, it's hard.
Getting old, boys.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
And I'm still buying old hardware and having fun with it.
The older you get, the harder your wear gets. Or the softer.
What kind of hardwares do you have? Are you wearing a trench coat? What are you buying? What are you selling?
What are you buying?
Hey, stranger.
You see what I added to the backdrop for
I see.
Yeah, I did some rearranging, but he just happened to come back out.
Okay, I see. Yeah, Link's just farther over now. The other Link.
Which one? Yeah. That one's kind of tucked in. Some rearranging. Oh, I sent you pictures, didn't I? Yeah, we went to town.
You have 2 Series X's?
No floor spaghetti.
I see 2 Series Xbox.
Yeah, one of those is definitely front of the show Mark's Knight's box.
Just gave you the box.
Yeah, I think I have his Splatoon box too. That's his Jedi Fallen Order too, right here. Yeah, you can see that one. I didn't get that SKU. That's Mark's Knight's.
Was that like the special edition or something?
Collectors. That's when he jumped on the 1X that came with Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh.
And a month of EA access. I think that was his. That's when he upgraded to that one. I can't remember why specifically, but he did get that one. I got my neighbor's 30th anniversary PlayStation box, 20th.
Damn.
Days of Play PS4. I think it's at the top. Yeah, I get my neighbor's boxes now too. The one above Master Chief with the blue and gold.
Yep.
This one's right within reach. I guess since we're here before Cesar gets back. I didn't get this SKU either. That's my neighbor's. He knows I want them, so he lets me know. They unpack them. He's like, "You want the box?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll take the box."
If not, you would just see him sitting by the trash can and go pick them up anyway, right? So,
yeah, probably. Oh no, sorry, Master Chief. I love the simplicity and the tininess of this one. Like they did the Lord's work packing this thing in.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one at Walmart. Remember, I told you guys I'm always looking at Walmart when I go in there. I saw one sitting on the shelf. I was like, there it is. It wasn't the Mario Kart SKU though. It was just the regular Switch 2 SKU.
But still, that's I guess they're getting out there, man.
Yeah. And I know we talked about last week they're pretty much in stock at all the retailers online, but I mean, that's my first time seeing one in the wild. That's pretty cool. People still go in store looking for that. I mean, I was just for shits and giggles. You guys ready to rock?
Yes.
Yep.
Born ready. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 360 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game, and if you don't want an Xbox One, we have a product for you. It's called Episode 360 Podcast. Brant's grinning. He knew it was coming around. It was gonna get there.
Well done.
Thank you.
Nice tie-in.
Thank you. We had to get there.
Thank you.
I have some good memories of the 360. Do we wax poetically about the 360?
Oh, 360 was awesome.
Yeah.
Bring back the blades.
Oh, the Blades was a great interface. I talk about like core gaming memories, and like when Cesar, myself, and friend of the show Mark's Knight got to play all the Wii launch titles before it came out. We're just like popping them in the demo system over and over and over. That was one of them. But the local Walmart got the first 360 kiosk that I knew of, and going to see that and like seeing Cameo in action. And I'm looking up like I'm looking at one, right? Remember when y'all have seen all those memes
Praying
where
your neck
people,
up,
oh
yep.
yeah, and it was like that in that Walmart, even the 360 one. And
Like that weird scam that they do with the chiropractors. Like, yeah, your neck's crooked. I got to fix it. It's just, and they tell you to look at different directions as they do X-rays.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got you positioned in the same form of that Egyptian mummy that they like rebuilt the vocal cords for. It's like, we produced the sound of what his vocal cords would have sounded like, and it just goes ah. But we're straining up looking at this thing, and it still stands out in my mind. I need to play this game like all the way through. That would be a fun stream. We did World at War, but it was Call of Duty 2. It was the launch title for the 360. And just the scale of like, they had you come in on these Jeeps, and I can't even remember what mission it was, but the smoke, like the billowing smoke effects that they could do on the 360 versus what you had on previous gens. And it was just like, oh my God, this is awesome. I was in at that point. That was one of my launch titles.
Well, I mean, that was the
Perfect Dark Zero fun.
That was the biggest thing with their commercials, was like HD is here, and you know, like they had the was it the two they showed off the 2K, and they'd like do the close-ups of the players, and you could see the sweat like beating down their face and whatnot. And
those early 2K games were big showcases too.
Looking at it going, man, it can't get any better than this.
In some ways it did. Like your Blades interface and our cross-media bar. Please, God, give me the cross-media bar again.
Yeah, generations are dead.
What's that?
Said generations are dead.
Yeah,
it's true.
They go away.
Everything looks the same now. PS4 to PS5. Ooh, more reflections.
Now we just have
Faster
Pro upon
loading.
Pro. I mean, I'm very happy with the Switch 2 hardware, but is it not just a Switch Pro?
Very much so.
It really is.
With mouse
Outside
controls?
of like you said, the mouse controls, the microphone, and the camera, but these are staples that have been around in the gaming industry for almost decades.
Yeah.
And we're enjoying
a
it.
decade at least.
We're buying cameras for other people we stream with, and we're talking about $5 campfire games just so we could have our faces out there.
Leave it to Nintendo to reinvigorate old hardware
and old concepts.
Accessories.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, this week Battlefield is back! Exclamation point. Cesar and I may or may not be able to confirm that. Well, we can't confirm. I will say honestly, we cannot confirm. I did not play the old Battlefields to the extent of former podcast member Mark's Knight.
I might see what it could possibly look like.
Yes, because there was a trailer released, and we're gonna discuss that. Brand, are you a big Battlefield fan? Are you a secret Battlefield fan and we didn't know?
No, I do enjoy some Battlefield. I remember playing 3 and then 4.
Guess what?
I guess 3 was one of those games that I traded in a long time ago, but I still have my copy of 4, and that was the last Battlefield I actually really played. So
I have multiple copies of 3 on PS3, so please do not purchase one. I have you a copy of Battlefield 3 for PS3. Are those servers still up? Or these are the ones we talked about like a year ago they were going to shut down, but you could play it on...
Yeah, I was about to say, I think they're down now.
Yeah, you can play it on Xbox Series and PC and stuff. I think Mark's Knight's still playing... What, Battlefield 4, I think he talks about?
Yeah, good games.
That's just one piece of news. Payment processors versus not safe for work games. Question mark. I'm going to go ahead and apply the question mark on that one. Nintendo price increases. Did you buy your camera already? We have one for Buish. Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. That'll be the substantial part of the news, I'm assuming. We have your August PlayStation Essential Games, and there is a new title utilizing mouse controls on Nintendo Switch Online. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee.
What's up?
Brant, welcome. I would say, what is your favorite Battlefield, but I think we got a good rundown there.
Yeah, Battlefield 4, man. That was pretty good, man.
Mark Knight gave me the PS3 version of Battlefield 4 in anticipation of the PlayStation 4 coming out, because it was one of those SKUs that you could pop the disc in and get the $10 Path to Victory.
I remember that.
The unfortunate part is we were not, we underestimated the immediate server demand on what that was going to look like on PS4 launch night, and we played 0 minutes of Battlefield 4, despite all that anticipation, because of everybody killing.
It did have its hiccups, especially when it launched with the matchmaking and all that, because it was hammered.
I would go on to not learn my lesson and take a day off to play Gears of War 5 with Cesar on launch day, and also experience the exact same thing. That's him. He's here. I just mentioned him. Also here is our resident lore master and soundboard mixer, Cesar Concepcion II. Cesar, welcome.
Yes.
What is your favorite Battlefield? Is it the most recent one you may or may not have played?
I think Battlefield 1 is probably the last one I put a ton of hours into, so I'll go with that one.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 is really good. I tried that out on... Was I playing it on ROG or Steam Deck? Whichever one I tried it out on was great performance on the handheld. It was a handheld PC of some kind. And some of them, it's one of those things like over the eras of EA, certain titles have been locked behind different launchers and things like that. But whichever one I was trying it out on, it worked well. And I think it was Steam Deck. I want to say Steam Deck now, because I think it was either Steam Deck Playable or Steam Deck Verified, where it told me it would launch okay. I tried the campaign of Battlefield 3 on one of those two as well, and it played really well, but I didn't dive into it at that point. That Frostbite engine was something else, man. Like, even looking at that playing on like PS3 hardware or a PC of that time, that Frostbite engine was way ahead of its time. And I know with all this Battlefield news coming out, you've seen the like GIFs and memes people have posted about, this is what games look like 12 years ago, and it's that Frostbite engine, and it's like, ooh, that looks really good. Run it on half a gig of RAM in the 360 and the PS3. How did they pull this off? Battlefield is back. That's our first piece of news. This is the Battlefield show. Welcome to the...
It is.
Should we have got Mark's night on this one? Would he have joined us for another NOFODcast? I think he told us.
He may once maybe Battlefield 6 comes out, right?
We get Battlefield 6 in the mix. Yeah, he might jump in.
6 in the mix. I like 6. 6 is good. Battlefield 6, of course, is the name of the new Battlefield. It's not whatever they were calling it in the in their demo build or whatever they call that program. This comes from Jordan Mindler at VideoGamesChronicle.com. Battlefield 6 is a spiritual successor to Battlefield 3 and 4, Vince Zampella says. It will be out in October, specifically October 10th. And this week, EA showed off the game's multiplayer for the first time. So they had these big multiplayer events, but they also showed like a campaign trailer, right? So campaign is back too. Battlefield is a 2-decade-old franchise with some of the biggest, most iconic games, Zampella said. When Battlefield hits and does things right, it goes bonkers, right? He added, being the spiritual successor to 3 and 4 is how we look at it. What would the next spiritual successor kind of look like? That's where we started. He's got another quote about large-scale maps and small steps. The big news here is that Battlefield 6, numerous ones, are coming later this month. The game has been in closed testing since March. I didn't know that. Which has resulted in a large amount of pre-release gameplay appearing online. On Thursday, EA hosted hundreds of press and influencers from around the world to play the game for the first time. Fans who watch their favorite streamers playing the game from the event will get early access to the betas later this month. I believe it's going to go up August 8th is the first like public one. And you don't need a pre-order or anything like that. Based off what I've seen from this game, and tell me if you guys watched any of this content and not played, but I think I'm ready to pre-order this one as our next big multiplayer. It just, everything I've seen from it looks really, really good and scratches that itch for what we're looking for on Saturday nights. We have to get a friend of the show, Buish, in.
I love that they're bringing back that level of destruction too.
You mean Levolution trademark?
I was about to say, or as they called it, Levolution.
That's what was so fun in like Battlefield 4 is taking a point maybe at the top of a skyscraper, and then the skyscraper comes down, so that point is just literally gone, or the flag falls to the middle of that thing, and you're not fighting up that building anymore. I know a friend of the show, Mark's Knight, was sending us comments like the scale, the verticality on this map is just insane, and this is a return to Battlefield. Like, he would know. I don't think he put any time into 2042. Have you heard him say anything about it, Cesar?
I mean, I think him and his crew, when they landed on Game Pass, they put some multiplayer, but I think they left that quick and went back to 1. I think 1 has been their go-to recently.
They dropped that shit.
Played other ones.
And you and I tried 2042, didn't we? Just like running around in there, and it was just empty. And like,
we never got out of the battle tutorial, which was that first level, which we dominated, and we were like, "Yeah,
that's good." Right."
Beat the game.
That's right. We were undefeated. We were like 21-0. We drove around in a tank and murdered a bunch of people. And that was it.
Too easy. Game was too easy.
Yeah, we beat it the first time we played it, and that was it. We never went back to Battlefield 2042. Maybe to scratch that itch, we see if are those on Game Pass. Maybe we try to push for one of those tomorrow night and rope up.
I think
a bunch
5
of people.
And 2042, maybe 4. I'll have to check real quick.
I think 1's on there because I think Mark's Knight's been playing 1 on there, so I would doubt that he bought it.
1 is the one from World War I, correct?
Yes.
What is Battlefield 5? Was that a World War II rendition?
That was the one where they World War II, right? And they did a bunch of different perspectives in the single player, and it didn't have like I don't know if the narrative was ever fleshing together. I just know like you played a woman in one level, you played another guy in another campaign in another level, and I think some people weren't a huge fan of the campaign, and I think the multiplayer had a decent amount of I don't know. I can't really speak. I don't think I played too much of 5, so.
I don't think I played any of that one. I need to look at that cover and just even see what that looks like. They're all cheap on eBay and stuff, so, or if you have a GameStop near you, I guess.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now, and if y'all have if anybody listens to the show has Steam or a PC, they're like $5 or less right now.
They're all on sale?
Announcement. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I got 5, and looks like for whatever reason I don't have Battlefield 5, and looks like 4. So I'm looking at those, and it's like $8 for both of them.
I know I have Battlefield 4 Premium. That gives you everything, and that's a hell of a game. We need more PC people. It's just the 3 of us leading that charge. We need more people to fall in with PC, and then we can ditch these stupid.
Your David Schwimmer, we can pivot.
Online subscriptions and get cheaper games day one. I did see
that's when I'll play stupid shit with you guys. Is when we do that.
When we do PC streaming things.
Because I can drop $8 on repo and have a great time because that shit's only on. I mean, that stuff's only on PC. So,
yep.
For right now, at least. I mean, I imagine it'll make its way to console at some point.
Repo. Or all the just random nonsense PC stuff. I always think about Giant Bomb finding PUBG way back in the day and streaming PUBG before it was a big zeitgeist thing. PUBG's back in the news. Do they have a new content drop, or they announce like ways they want to take on Fortnite or something? I didn't read the article. I just kind of saw the news blast.
I don't recall. I just know I think it's in the top of the chart somewhere. So it's always in somebody's conversation. So
it never goes away.
Okay. So I do have it pulled up, Game Pass. Looks like Battlefield 3, 4, Battlefield Revolution, Battlefield 2042, Battlefield Hardline, and Battlefield 5.
It's a good mix.
Mm-hmm. As Cesar mentioned, they're all like $4 to $5 on Steam, every single one of them. It looks like the one I'm missing is Battlefield 5, which is and that's the definitive edition. That's $4.99. It's not bad at all.
I'll probably pick that up on payday. I gotta wait another week. I'm not as blessed as you gentlemen are.
Battlefield 5 and Hardline. Hardline's $3.99. And I heard that has a good campaign and a good
I
multiplayer.
have Hardline. That's the one I meant to say. That was the one I was missing, and that's the Ultimate Edition of that. They're both the Ultimate and Definitive editions of these.
Yeah,
so
I see that.
It's a pretty good deal.
I think I do own the old Xbox 360 Battlefield 1943 as well.
They took those servers down. Myself, Mark Knight, and friend of the show, Chill Mills, played that game religiously on the PS3. It came free. Remember how you'd get like another game on a PS3 disc free? You just pop it in and it was there. We got that with either Battlefield 3 or some sort of pre-order, or it was just like $5 by itself or something. And that game was so much fucking fun. It was very similar to Warhawk. It had that same like base, take over bases or fly planes or snipe. Or run jeeps. Oh my God, we had so much fun with that game. We need those servers back. Brant, if you get a second, fire that up on 360 or it was backwards compatible for a minute, so fire that up and just see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing it says is, the Battlefield 1943 servers are offline.
Never mind.
Shut them down December 8th, 2023. The game was also delisted from digital storefronts prior to that date. I didn't know that.
Gone. Erased. And that was a fun little title. God, that game was so much fun.
I know I own it. It says I own it on the freaking Xbox app here, so.
There's a $70 SKU of Battlefield 6, and there's a $100 SKU. The $100 SKU gets you like cosmetic stuff, it sounds like, and an XP boost. I'll probably pick this up. It's crossplay confirmed. I'll probably pick this up on PlayStation just for the DualSense support.
Yeah.
And right now, Newegg, I think it's a deal of the day. So if you're watching live, you'll probably benefit. But if you're listening to the post tomorrow, maybe not. But I think a $100 PlayStation gift card on Newegg right now is $90. So it's, it'd be 10% off your purchases up to $100 essentially once you redeem it on PlayStation Store. So might get you some PlayStation Plus, might get you Battlefield, just something to think about, a factor. Best Buy's giving you a $10 reward card with the physical copy, I think.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah. And as much as I like to support physical, I guess we can delve into this conversation briefly. I learned my lesson with Helldivers 2. Like, that has been an evolving thing. And I waited when Cesar had started playing this, and I think Brant, you picked it up, and I was like, man, I'm just waiting for my copy to come in. Like, I was waiting for the shipping and all that. And I should have just got it's a live service game.
With a live service, it's not even worth it. I got burned with a couple live service games, and now I've got coasters over here, so
yeah. I would rather it be just like Warzone and updating in the background, and I'm not worried about it, and I just know it's in there, and I don't worry about the disc that I have in the console.
I don't mind if the campaign is on disc. I will eventually pick that up cheap, but there's no confirmation of that. So
same, yep, yeah. I'll always pick up physical cheap, especially down the road, or a secondary Steam copy or something. But
more than happy to do it this time if they have campaign on disc.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, no.
Yeah.
If it's not, then probably not, because
there's no point.
Because that disc is obsolete by the time it ships to you. You're gonna have a day one patch, and then
it's a frisbee.
Yeah, it's just an unlocked patch, and I'd rather have the Unless there's some crazy deal where they like if the big desk mat pad thing, that would be nice. That would be like the Pokemon thing we talked about either last week or 2 weeks ago. If there's some sort of benefit to getting that, but I think convenience wise and with the PlayStation Portal, like knowing that I can just fire up my digital copy whenever I want to from anywhere in the house and not worry about what disc is physically in the machine, I think that's a good get. This game looks good. It looks like they did it right. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, I'm excited about jumping in because it's been a while since I even day one a Battlefield or even thinking about day one in a Battlefield. So hopefully these open betas doesn't tell a different story. So that's the only way it can derail for me quickly.
Yeah.
So
Mark's Knight is always a good barometer, and the community knows, right? And the community is very high on what they've seen so far, and we've seen that go multiple ways. When something comes out, it doesn't meet expectations, or betas are misleading, or you get a weird reversal. Like I like to bring up Cesar's coworker that was talking about Doom 2016 and how good that multiplayer was. Like it feels like Halo, but we all love that campaign. Like we talk about how great that campaign is, so it just ended up being memorable for other reasons outside of I'm sure they got their enjoyment out of the multiplayer, but that campaign still stands up almost 10 years later as a quality experience. So
I mean, all that whole Doom trilogy, I'll say it's done very well. They weren't afraid to go different directions for all three games because like each three of them play differently, and I love that conversations that people have about Doom Eternal, like when they go from Doom 2016 or 2015 into Doom Eternal, and it's like it's not what they thought it was going to be because the Doom Eternal was more of it still had that fast-paced gun shooting, but it wasn't just that. They evolved into like more platforming and where you're jumping and reaching for puzzle. It's like jumping and making across maps is part of the puzzle, part of the fun, and it's like it changed like the aspect of that game, and and we saw that with the Dark Ages too, where you got the shield, and it kind of changed the aspect and gameplay of it. And it's pretty awesome that they weren't shoehorned to just like, all right, we're just gonna keep recreating the Doom remake.
they didn't get stuck in their ways.
Yeah. So that's a testament to themselves, and I mean each one of them has been well reviewed, and they played differently. I think Doom Eternal is just the most confusing one because it does. I always tell people when they like fall off of it, it's like, yeah, it's not what I thought it was going to be. And I was like, you have to kind of give it more time, try to let it sink in, and that's just a difficult thing because that's not something that people have readily available. But it is something when you go in that mindset that it's going to be different. So.
Yeah, nobody likes to hear it gets good after 5 hours. It gets good after 8 hours, right? Or you're not playing Skyrim. Game. You're not playing Skyrim right. Don't play the campaign. Just wander around. Like
people argue with me about Starfield. It's like, yeah, it gets better your third playthrough 150 hours in. I'm like, man, I can't even make it halfway to like 2 hours in the first playthrough. I'm like, that's 3 playthroughs. Like what? So I mean, hopefully, there's another expansion coming out next year. Is what they were saying. So hopefully. It will play differently, and maybe when that reaches a new target audience, it might hit differently, kind of like Cyberpunk does. So,
did it come to PS5 yet?
I think that was the whole,
or that's the next one. That's the next big
rumor
shooter drop.
Or whatever that Starfield is coming to PS5, but it's not coming till next year until the second expansion, which is sometime next year. So it's not anytime soon.
Yeah,
it seems like. What it sounds like it's not going anywhere else until it's done is what they're making it sound like. So kind of like that Cyberpunk method,
It works
instead of just going in there and dropping it. But, oh, let's fix it, and just at this point, the current owners are beta testing this new stuff until all right, this is the final build. So.
You are a beta tester.
But that's all of us on a majority of games nowadays. So
I'm adding these Battlefields to my Steam cart, which I don't need to be doing right now.
Yeah, I got them in my Steam cart too.
Shopping for Battlefields.
The sale expires in like 12 days, so I was like, I'll leave it there until something else magically shows up in the next 12 days and then bite the bullet.
God, it looks good. It just looks like so much fun. We love a class based. Like even when we're not playing a shooter that's class based, we end up with roles of like support or healer or tank, and we do that. We did it with Diablo. We fell into that, right? So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
At least this group of people here and some others and that are in our group that is pretty good about doing a balanced team.
Yeah.
That's what matters. So it's hard to find that out there online. So
my big thing is we are blessed with a big group to play with, right? And we like the best experience we had with that with Cesar, you may debate this, was a Halo big team battle, because we weren't limited to a 4-man squad. We got everybody in there, and they were in their own 4-man squad. We might not have all been in the same one, but everybody was playing the same game, and sometimes we had 8 to 10 people running with us at night on Halo Infinite. And I'm still chasing. Yeah,
there wasn't many things out there that did it at that time. So
no,
especially the Halo universe or anything that played like Halo, at least. So.
And I feel like I'm still chasing that where we get everybody in. Like if it's just the 4 of us running every weekend, I love it. I'm very thankful and grateful we can do that. We have the opportunity to do that. But if we can bring in more and we have more people playing and doing cross party chat and coordinating all that stuff, you have 2 healers in an area where the enemy's really pushing that zone and stuff like that. And I can't wait for those type experiences. It looks good. Battlefield looks good. It's back. Would you write in there in the news, Brant? Battlefield's back. That's what everybody's saying. We're so fucking back. The meme is out there for everything. We're so fucking back, and we'll have Battlefield people on it. So hopefully,
curious to see how it plays on PS5 Pro. So I'll try that out too. So
see how that looks and performs, and
not really care. I don't really care too much about the looks. I just the frame rate's right is usually what I'm concerned about nowadays. So
right, and there's a lot of stuff going on in this game from those gameplay clips. There's all sorts of physics and
even I find myself on the PC playing more in 1080p than just for the frame rate than I would. Like most people go like, oh, let me buy this NVIDIA GeForce card so I can get 4K, and I'm like, that. To me, it doesn't matter on PC because the whole point of the graphics on PC is it's up close. You're not sitting far away as a TV, so it's like it's a different hit. So I'm like, I don't really see a use for the 4K, but that's me personally, and I'm sure
give me top tier frame rate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do not know this, Brent. You might have to grab this one. I do not know anything about this itch.io stuff. This is a whole new story for me. I missed this one.
It's been going around for about a week and a half ish, maybe. I'm sure Cesar's probably heard about it too. So this article is from Chris Scullion, VGC. This is actually a follow up saying that some of the games are being relisted, but there was a bunch of games on this itch.io and Steam as well that are technically the what we coin as the spicy games or the not safe for work games that were just being completely delisted, ripped down, taken away from people that bought them or wanted to buy them because payment processors all of a sudden said, no, we don't support this. We're either you take them down, or we basically don't do your payment processing. So, but last week, indie digital game store itch.io de-indexed its entire NSFW game library from its store. And that's via a push from the payment processors.
Mm-hmm.
And the decision was met with the condemnation from developers, with the International Game Developers Association, or IGDA, releasing a statement saying it was seriously alarmed by the delisting.
Yeah.
So there was an update where they've allowed some of them to come back, kind of with this loophole. This quote here says, "Today we are re-indexing free adult, not safe for work content.
Go on.
We are still we are still in ongoing discussions with payment processors and will be reintroducing paid content slowly to ensure we can confidently support the widest range of creators in the long term."
Slowly. Long term.
So-
see what he's doing here.
Developers who want their spicy games to be listed on itch.io will have to mark their game as no payments under the pricing section of the game's details, and will have to complete a new content warnings system for the pages tagged as not safe for work.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, it seems like all the not safe for work content, other than that, all the paid things are going to continue to remain delisted, de-indexed. There's some stuff like you can't say like you call it cleaning the fridge. Say you've had a game and you deleted it off your console,
Right.
or your PC here, and you're like, well, I own it.
Making space, cleaning out the fridge.
Yes. People were having problems even just searching the game up, even though they technically owned the game.
Finding it again. Yeah.
It was, yeah. It's
getting
been
buried somewhere.
It's been a whole thing, and there's now been a whole push to basically kind of go back against this whole thing, because it's all done by payment processors, and people are now craning their heads like, wait a minute, why are payment processors moderating our games and the content we consume all of a sudden?
There's entities in place like ESRB, right, to warn us and to label these things as certain things. But we do know predatory stuff's out there. But pieces of art, especially behind things like the ESRB, they need to be protected. This stuff has to be out there, because then what's the next step? Where's the next domino fall on censorship, or what gets taken away or decided what's clean or not clean, or ethical or not ethical, right? And I'm not saying gratuitous. I think we all know where that line is, and I don't think that has to be. There's an adults only ESRB rating, which has only been assigned to one thing, and that was like a quick countermeasure. But this, you can't have them dictating this, mandating this level of acceptance or scrutiny. I don't know what the term is there.
Yeah, this specifically calls out a payment processor, I guess, called Stripe, confirmed it cannot support adult content designed for sexual gratification.
If you're listening to this podcast, you may want to stop your payments going through on Stripe for this here audio and visual sexual gratification you receive every Friday night.
I mean, we've had this conversation before. There's many states on the as we refer to the Bible Belt over here, that has banned said websites due to
certain websites
age verification. So this is as Brand has alluded to, a lot of the stuff that is being targeted are taboo subjects that are considered outside the norm in these areas. And that's the argument, saying like, hey, this is a subject matter that is not accepted in society, so it doesn't matter if it's a game form. You are somehow supporting it with Visa or MasterCard purchases. And so I think that is kind of scaring some of these companies to go more of the conservative method of just trying to stay out of it. And this has been alluded for a while, because we've had conversations of censorship because remember, Sony was like, all right, we don't care, put your games on our store. And then all of a sudden they were censoring certain games and people were getting mad. And Nintendo's like, we're going to stay out of it. And now Nintendo's censoring stuff. About a year ago, they were like, we're not going to push this game. So like we saw this was going this way. It just finally kind of hit the nail on the head. I think Steam's version was they were only asking the games to be censored or not sold in the store for like some visual novels if they wanted to categorize, as Richard has alluded to, as a normal game with a mature rating, but it may have some questionable content on there that didn't fit their standards. They would have to name it or categorize it as adults only game, which would automatically filter out that game or index that game out on Steam. So it's like that weird line, and that's where some of that stuff was starting to get filtered, or what they're like, yeah, you got to cut this out of this game if you want it to be on our store. And so that stuff's been going on for years. It just kind of finally hit the nail on the head. And this has been happening over in Japan. Like I typically buy manga from Bookwalker, and then at some point they have pulled back because there's mangas I don't buy, but there's certain stuff on there that they sell. And I think they separated their 18 plus store in there, which I don't really care. I don't usually go in there. So I think you have to have a Japanese IP to get that into that store. It's like, all right, you can't buy anything in here because they do have some of that taboo stuff on there. It's like you can buy the normal stuff here with your Visa and your PayPal and everything because PayPal is doing the same thing. So essentially, I think it wasn't maybe almost a month. I think it's been about a month, if I'm not mistaken, where Japan's JFTC, the Fair Trade Commission, they filed a violation under Japan's Anti-Monopoly Act against Visa and MasterCard for investigation.
Oh.
Because they said they're basically using their monopoly power to monopolize the charging system to force these companies to remove said product. And some stores in Japan had removed some of their digital products to appease them. And then some of them had just removed the Visa and MasterCard usage altogether and say you have to have a Japanese bank card or a points card is what they do over there, which would be a Steam card here, which I wouldn't be surprised if that's something they would do here at some point with Steam, where they categorize some of these games and you have to have a Steam card and that's the only way to purchase it. Because at that point you'd be like, well, they're buying a Steam card, I have no idea what they're using it on, right? You can't make that argument. So, and they can still use their Visa cards for that. So
would we be fine as that for a level of like consumer protection?
I mean, this would
only go that extra step.
They're probably only strictly affecting, the Japanese economy over there. So, like I said, I don't think that would do anything over here. So,
right. I've used, and I don't know if there's a similar thing to in games. I've been using, because I've been researching a lot of 4K movies, right? And it's like, we want to have movie nights as a family. What can I introduce my kids to? Like, I don't know, like what certain scenes, if it's a movie I haven't seen and I can't vouch for, like, or I don't remember, right? I've seen a bunch of movies. I don't remember certain spots. It's called, and I don't know the background of this site. I can't vouch for the lobbyist group or whoever makes this, but it's something I found.
Accuracy.
Yeah, but it's a resource that I've seen, and they do have a paywall, so you can only look at certain free ones for a certain amount of time, and then they want you to subscribe. But it's called commonsensemedia.org. Have you guys heard of this? Okay.
Yep.
So you can punch in like Alien is one of my favorite movies of all time. So it's like, okay, I've always enjoyed this. What would this be for my kids? And it just gives you a synopsis like, recommended 15 plus, female-led thriller, still very scary, has stereotypes. So then it gives you more background of, instead of just like a blanket, don't watch this with anyone under 15, it tells you why. Why 15 plus? Language, multiple uses of fuck, son of a bitch, hell, goddamn. It tells you, violence and scary. A character sitting down to dinner with fellow crew members falls into convulsions and dies a bloody death as an alien burrows out of its chest. Spoilers if you haven't seen Alien. But it just, it goes over some of that stuff and some things like I didn't remember, recall, or think of in a certain way. Would it be impressionable for someone under that recommended ESRB, or in this case, what do they call that? Parental guidance rating? Is it called in movies, or just their movie rating? So PG, PG-13.
I mean, that whole point is like, everybody does things differently, but that whole point is use that as a tool to like, all right, did I have this kind of a conversation with my kids about it, or if I feel like, oh, they're ready to be exposed to this? Because I mean, you can't protect everybody forever, but you got to make sure you whatever's on there, you're like, okay, we discussed it first, and about reality and fiction and what's real and what's not. So
one of my wife's favorite movies we've talked about on the show is Waterworld. Not a lot of people like Waterworld. So we're talking.
It's not bad. I watched it on TV like a couple years back, and it's like, this movie's not that bad.
And so it's like a lot of us.
But people hate the Virtual Boy game.
I mean, it's also like $500, right? And Cesar brings up a good point. Like, we consumed a lot of this media through TV, and that was already censored to a certain extent for us. There were already bleeped out parts, or they cut out certain scenes, or like Titanic. Titanic's been on TV, but you haven't seen bare breasts on TV watching Titanic on like TNT or ABC or whatever.
You gotta love the movie edits, man.
Yeah. I mean, they're a certain spin of that's how people consumed some of these specifically.
I'm sick of these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
Monday to Friday plane. But in Waterworld, there's a scene where someone is accosting a young lady and rips their shirt, and so reading this on here allowed us to discuss like. It reminded her like, oh yeah, that's actually kind of intense. So maybe we don't do that with the age group that we're intending to share this property with. And it's all about this. It's all about giving people the agency of the decision on their own, right? The dangerous part is the all-out blockage and allowing an entity to decide what they will and won't allow outside of. Like, there's some major no-nos that are just acceptable across every culture, every religion. Like, there's no-nos. It's not just taboo, right? This is off limits. And I think anything outside of that, you just need the best educated guess possible for content consumption. And we're in the age of streaming. Everything is everywhere. YouTube Kids, famously, is not moderated by anything. There's all sorts of predatory, weird shit on YouTube Kids.
And that's the next thing we're going to be dealing with soon, because the UK is going through their face verification system now to verify that you are an adult to access certain sites. And the US is looking at implementing something similar here. So,
did you see people or kids were using Death Stranding?
Norman Reedus,
Norman,
because it was so lifelike. Yeah, because the graphics were so lifelike. Yeah, and it worked. Yeah.
Some the metrics out there are like, damn, Norman Reedus watches a shit ton of porn. What is this guy doing?
My favorite one was like people judge generations based off Norman Reedus because they had a PS3 version of him, PS4 version of him, and PS5 version of him. They show like the graphic levels of each one. Yeah,
from that Walking Dead game from PS3,
and then Death Stranding, and then Death Stranding 2. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's good stuff.
Generations of Norman Reedus, man. That was a pretty good find somebody put on there. So,
and it's a good way to tell the advances in like facial capture and hair. What they call the Tomb Raider one was like Tress FX or something. When they released Tomb Raider Definitive Edition for consoles and PC, it had like upgraded hair physics and stuff. Wow, that was a hell of a story. I did not.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that was awesome.
To finish this up real quick, where it stands now, the IGDA is calling for greater transparency and fairness in how adult games are moderated and actioned across major platforms. Of course, they were seriously alarmed by the wave of the game delisting, de-indexing, and payment disruptions targeting adult-themed games titles on platforms such as Steam and itch.io. Reports suggest these actions have been taken with little to no communication and have disproportionately harmed developers producing legal, consensual, and ethically developed content. Including creators from marginalized communities. Further reports suggest that recent policy changes are driven in large part by pressure from payment processors like Visa, MasterCard, and others who may threaten to withhold payment processing services from platforms hosting all adult content. As a result, financial institutions are now influencing which stories can be told and sold in games, with minimal transparency or public accountability. And that's not something we need, ever.
That opens a dark door. And some people may think like this is food for thought. If you disagree with us, figure out why. Think in your head or talk to people and try to discover why. But when these doors crack open, everything floods through after that, and there's always a downstream effect to kicking off what some of these things will enact.
I mean, we finally got there, right? I mean, there was this alarm, like I said before, alarm from Sony when they were in 2019 telling the developer, like, yep, cut out this game's feature. I need you to self-censor yourself before we release it. And, people were like, why is this happening? It just took 6 years to finally get here, but here we are. This is what they were afraid of. So
they were also picking and choosing because some people cried about their games being censored, but there was a notorious scene in one of Sony first-party studios' big games, Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
That was somewhat graphic.
It's the examples I'm using here tend to be more of a Eastern flair of games for females that are saying they're 18 and older but don't look 18 and older, and that's the mini game in Senran Kagura was a room where you kind of like grab body parts and stretch them and jig them around. So that's the stuff they were kind of targeting. Seems to be more of the characters that tend to be underage-ish. But what Brandis alluded, yes, that is absolutely true. But I think there's a specific set of games they were saying like, yeah, you can't have this here.
A target subset.
Yeah, it wasn't like all straight across. And we've talked about on this podcast previously, Martha's Dead was another one where they had intense violence, where they censored that game too. Or I think you watched the video of when they ripped somebody's face off, and instead of you having to do the controller prompts and doing it yourself as they did on the other consoles. So why that game on how gory that is when we've seen some other gory situations, who knows? It was that one that Sony had their own moderators to look at that content and decide, yeah, we probably in our ecosystem we shouldn't sell that just in case we would get pushed back.
Yeah.
So because it's harder for like something popular like Steam and them to I mean, they could probably go against those credit card companies, but then you got to pay all that lawyer fees and everything, and then you're going to have that back and forth and argue like, yeah, but you market this to families and kids also, not just grown adults, So how are you regulating that?
Mm-hmm.
There's no age verification system in there where it's like, oh, outside of maybe you put a security pin, but the argue back is like, you're not forcing them to do it. You made it as an option, so.
Yeah.
It's like the violence chip they used to put in TVs. They kind of had to force it in there. So it's like
V-chip. Is that what they called that?
Yep.
Yeah.
V-chip.
So it's like it goes back and forth to like these gray areas, and it's like these corporations don't want to sit there and waste money to do this stuff. So it's kind of like where we're at with these storefronts too. So I'm like, there are websites that like Jast USA and stuff like that tend to sell PC games uncensored. I mean, they have a censored version on Steam, and they believe it or not will sell you like a visual novel to send you an uncensored patch. So you just buy the Steam version, you can run the uncensored patch on the Steam copy and get the same one they sell on their website. But their website is completely hitting that target market. So like I don't want to stay on this subject too much longer, because I'm tired. But
no, it's a good one. I didn't know the story would end up being so
a lot of these companies are self-pulling their games now because they just don't want to deal with the hassle. They're like, oh, I don't want to sit here and deal with the scrutiny about like, oh, well, I'll be delisted one day. You know what? I'm just not going to put my games on Steam and start pulling them. So they're having that going on right now. So
I know I'm a father of 2 kids, right? And I think that's Is that what drives a lot of the impact of this? Is like youth and underage individuals and those that can't make decisions for themselves, like what's available and what's out there and what's accessible, that sort of thing.
It tends to be the argument. Is what's being made. So, like I said, I don't. You guys have kids. I don't. So I can't really, add any context to that. So there's other aspects that I hear from parents and stuff like that, which I will not go on this podcast and talk about because there's some stuff I don't totally believe that they go off the deep end. I mean, that rephrase it, not the deep end, but they believe that should not be shown on like TV.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have certain conversations with their kids about it. That is just being shown on commercials, just like regular commercials. So it's like that's like a conversation that a lot of like groups are having right now about this age we're in now, where it's like some stuff is like, all right, what do we consider, fair to be shown and what is not, because everybody kind of grows up differently. Everybody teaches their kids differently, and that's like you mentioned before. That's the argument. I don't know if that's the legit reason. Certain groups will use that argument, but that is the argument, and that's like some of my colleagues, that's our coworkers, that is the argument, and they truly believe that like I shouldn't be able to see this in the commercial because I don't want to have to explain this to my child yet. So it's like, and that's what upsets them, and which is, like I said, it's valid, but it's like I think that's just being spread across all forms of media. So, I mean, that's why we've been seeing this humongous banning of books recently in certain public schools and stuff like that, because it's not like when we went to school, which when like in middle school, where there were certain books that were like considered like, oh, this could be a little explicit, where they would sit there and
read Catcher in the Rye,
put a permanent marker through certain lines. I'm like, I'm sitting there like, it's a, because that's what that copy they would give us. It's like, oh yeah,
Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry was probably one of your copies that had some crosses
where they had to wait for the teacher to explain, like, all right, give a context one on there, and even parents have to approve that part on there. So it's like that's a huge argument right now that's being made. So I mean, this is stuff that's been happening, for decades, for a long time. So I mean, it's like we say that now. I mean, us four could go down to the store, buy a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook. We're probably going to be on some watch list afterwards, but it's openly sold or rented in the library.
Yeah.
So it's like you can get it. So it's one of those weird gray areas. I think they're still trying to figure out, But I think at some point, if they ever pull out like a national age verification, kind of like the UK, I think that's when you can start like, all right, who cares what people do if you can actually utilize it properly? Just whether or not you can utilize it properly is the question. How do you protect that data for that information on what servers? How do you make sure none of that information gets out? And how does somebody not take advantage of that and try to bypass it? So it's like there's a lot of stuff that it's still up in the air. So, but I mean, that would be
there's nonstop data leaks, right? Like you were saying, with securing that data.
Oh, if I'm a hacker, I know if everybody's stuff is on there for age verification, I'm going for that server.
Yeah,
I'm doing whatever I can to go for that server. That's the smartest thing I could do. That's the dumbest thing I could do, but
I mean, who's trying? Who's trying to enforce that now? And am I trusting Pornhub to have like hidden my data at once I've sent them my driver's license or whatever it is that they require? I don't know that it's specifically a driver's license.
That's why they're, believe it or not, they are very smart, and they're like, yeah, we're just not going to have this content in your state because we're not going to be responsible for that.
Yeah.
That's why it's like, hey, you live in the state. They voted that you need an age verification system. We're not doing that because it's like that opens up another legal loophole. Because as soon as somebody breaks in, they're going to get sued high to hell, and they're going to be gone. So.
And money talks, and they're either willing to take that risk on or they're not, and they decide like, fuck that shit. I'm not going that route.
So what's crazy is like they have not started blocking VPNs in the US yet for access to certain sites in certain states, but in the UK they have been blocking VPNs to bypass their age verification system. So like VPNs is not a viable source now. So
that's a whole nother animal. Mm-hmm. I think as a parent too, Brent would say, just be aware, be present, know the content consumed.
That's my whole thing with this is way too quickly nowadays are people to start pointing the finger. Like, it's not my responsibility to keep up with what my child is consuming because it's everywhere. It should be this person, my ISP, or it should be the government, or it should no. Do your job as a parent. You should sit down with your kids, tell them
Have that
this
talk.
and that, and have the talk, have the conversation, no matter how difficult it may be, because you need to know like it is everywhere. It is everywhere. They're going to come across it some way or another. So just be the adult and actually have the conversation. Or if they do run across something that they might ask you about it, and then don't brush it off. You'd be like, okay, all right, let's talk about this.
Yeah. And the needle moves all the time. In the 60s, Lieutenant Uhura, the black lieutenant on the Enterprise, kissed the white Captain Kirk. And that was none of us were around for that. But looking back, like, you hear the historical context of that, and that was taboo at the time. It's like, how is this? What's the discussion discussion that needs to happen? I think the thing we talk about is she works for him. Like, what is he doing? So that's the actual conversation, and that needle moves all the time, and that historical context is key with what is taboo and what is not at that time, and exposure and discussion. It all comes down to communication and dialogue, just like everything else, right? Personnel issues.
Yeah. It's like what you guys are saying and then what Brant's saying, and that's
outrage culture, and
you just don't want to umbrella it under one brainstorm, right? Because I mean, everybody's brainstorm is different. Like what Richard's kids and Brant's kids know are different, right? So, what might be okay for one person may not be okay for the other one. And what has been discussing on there. So it's like trying to decide, like, all right, let's have a national system for this. It's like, where do you draw the line? Like, all right, what's the bare minimum that everybody can agree on, right? Which we know nobody's going to be able to agree on it, because there's going to be some people more stringent than others. There's going to be some more people like, I mean, there was, my parents didn't let me watch everything I wanted to watch, but I mean, I was pretty close to, like, when I was at like 11 and 10, I didn't have pretty much any limitations unless it was like something pornographic, Yeah. So it's like, but I could watch any rated R movie at like 10. I was watching Terminator 2 when I was like 8. They had action figures, which is crazy at the time, because they had RoboCop action figures too for those movies.
Action figures for everything.
So it's like, who are they marketing this to? Yeah.
Alien bed sheets. This is rated R.
Yeah.
The heroine is going to be in bra and panties at the very end of the movie.
So it's like, it's different now. So, but
that ended up being a kick-ass discussion.
Yeah.
Well done. It
escalated quickly, like the Switch, Nintendo Switch prices
increases.
Segway.
Har.
This is from Chris Collion at VGC. He's going to summarize everything, but we will even summarize his article. Nintendo has said that they are going to change pricing for the original Nintendo Switch family of systems and products as of August 3rd. So I should get this podcast up on August 2nd. So you will have one day, unless you're watching live and you have to run out and grab some of this shit. Go ahead and do it now. At the time of the writing, a standard Nintendo Switch console costs $299.99. A Switch OLED is $349, and a Switch Lite costs $199. These prices are going up. They're already being reflected at retailer Target.com or Target stores. A Switch now costs $339.99, an increase of $40. Mind you, we paid $299 back in 2017 when this console first came out.
I think it's
8 years ago.
I think it was Lite was 30, non-OLED was 40, OLED was 50. It's like 30, 40, 50.
OLED's going up $50 to $399.99, and the Switch Lite is going up $30 to $229.99. And this was they had plenty of profit margin in 2017 on this old Tegra processor. So I don't know I think we read a couple years ago that the Tegra 1 was getting harder to source, or they weren't making as many. NVIDIA wasn't turning those out. So that could be, I mean, we're not privy to supply chain and Foxconn or however else they build these things. The important part, if you don't already have these consoles, is other Nintendo products, including certain Nintendo Switch 2 accessories, select Amiibo, and the Nintendo Sound Clock, Alarmo, will also see adjustments, Nintendo says. The company stresses the price adjustments will not affect Switch 2 consoles, physical or digital Switch or Switch 2 games, or Nintendo Switch Online memberships.
For now.
Which I think Canada just got hit with, so
yeah,
that's kind of a
Got hit
sigh
with
of
this
relief.
a month ago.
But we also were able to re-up recently. I think.
Yeah.
I may or may not owe someone some money for that. That's it. They go into tariffs, and it's just
Break his legs, somebody.
What's that?
I said somebody's gonna break your legs.
Yeah.
Don't pay them.
They might.
we're doing the Family Guy bit. Where's my money?
I'll get you your damn money. So bye if you're watching the show or listening and you're on the fence about some of this stuff.
Yeah, if you plan to buy within the next 3 to 6 months, now is probably the time. If you plan to kick the can down another year or two, it might be worth waiting, depending on how the economic will turn out. It could change because the landscape is changing rapidly right now.
Yeah,
so.
It's volatile, to say the least. All right, that's our price changes. We've done our price changes for the morning. So that's our work retail. I know all about some damn price changes.
Unfortunately, I would prefer not to discuss it again, but here we are.
I thought I left this part of my life behind.
I was actually thinking about it this morning when I was talking. I was like, man, I remember The General's Daughter, which was a John Travolta movie. They had to categorize it horror, and it sat there for 2 years until I had a page print out one day. Just like, oh, we miscategorized this in horror. Go out and print a new sticker and put it in action. And so I was like, nobody could ever find The General's Daughter because it was always categorized in horror. And it was not a true horror film. Yeah.
Oh, my favorite horror movie of all time, The General's Daughter. I wonder if I look on that Common Sense Media if it's gonna say that's a horror flag.
Yeah, I believe put it in the wiki. Daughter. Yep, it is a General's Daughter. That's crazy.
The horror of The General's Daughter.
And I think it is a military drama. So
yeah, it's like
an American mystery thriller. Yeah,
it's almost like a Tom Clancy type thing, right? Like General's Daughter. Was there a game made out of The General's Daughter?
No, I can't play that on game for you in that one.
Can we play that on PS2 or anything? When did that movie come out? It's a PS2 game, right?
1991. No,
it's that old?
Like 98.
Okay.
I just looked at it. I just closed it, so I can segue here into our partner direct. 1999.
So it's a late PS1 game, or maybe a Dreamcast game. Yeah, we're playing The General's Daughter on Dreamcast.
I mean, you could have been on that.
Is he looking for some sailors?
No, it's a horror game. It's survival horror, like isometric, like a Resident Evil.
I mean, Shenmue, I guess, could be survival horror.
You could have been using your Dreamcast to watch it on SVCD. But here we go.
Partner direct.
This is a article from Eurogamer from Ed Nightingale. We just had a Nintendo Direct that was like the worst kept secret of all time. We just didn't know if it was going to be a Nintendo Direct or if what it was, the format. And then they came out, was it Wednesday, I believe, or maybe Tuesday, where they announced that it was going to be a partner showcase. It was going to be 25 minutes long. And it was going to be 9 a.m. on a Thursday, Eastern time, 6 a.m. West Pacific time. I'm sorry, you West Coast fans. I don't know why it's 6 a.m. for you guys every morning.
I had a 9 a.m. meeting this exact day and just I had to watch the whole thing at lunch, which I was able to do happily.
So, yep. I mean, I got bits and pieces here and there, but unfortunately where I work too, 9 a.m. sucks because that's the time people come to see you. So it is what it is. So they started out the Nintendo Direct with something new because we usually, when you hear partner showcase and new Nintendo hardware, you're concerned like this is going to be Port City. I'm glad they kept a pretty good mixture of this going, that it was some of that, but then we had some new stuff. And so then they ended up showing Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, which you should know when you got the winged dragon-like character, which is a staple for the Monster Hunter Stories series, that's basically what it was going to be, which is like their third installment of the Capcom's RPG spinoff that started on the 3DS. That's been recently ported to the PS4 recently.
That was a 3DS series.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Correct. And it is also coming to Switch 2 next year, and I think they clarified later it's also coming to PS5 and for the first time, Xbox Series consoles.
Yep.
Which they have skipped. The first two had skipped recently. So then we got an announcement for a new, and I repeat, brand new Katamari game. It's been a while. We've been getting re-releases. And I think the only one we didn't get was What Beautiful Katamari on 360 is the only one that has not been remade yet, and the weird one on PS3 because there was 2 exclusive ones floating around, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
I can't remember what the one on PS3 was, but this is a brand new one. I think this is also coming out to PS4, PS5. It's series consoles. I think Switch and Switch 2. And this is just basically a new game you're just collecting stuff from the Edo, Japan to ancient Rome. And it has a lot of composers coming back from the previous games to kind of compose music and bring back some old favorites, as well as there is a multiplayer. And this will come out October 24th on Switch. Well, I'll say Switch on here because this was the show.
I'm sure it's coming out everything the same time. So
yeah, it's all on the same date. I apologize to everybody. So then you have Just Dance 2026 edition. I'm glad. I just wish they just dropped the edition. It's called Just Dance 2026.
Is this coming to Wii? Didn't the Wii get one till like 2020
they stopped
or
that
2021?
after. Yeah, about say I think it was 2020 was the last one they did.
It's crazy.
So essentially, this is just your favorite series coming with 40 new tracks, and it's coming out October 14th. There's nothing really you can add to it. So here's our first port, which surprisingly is also on the Switch. Which
looks like I didn't know that.
Which is one of Richard's favorite categories because when they compared the Switch 2, and the PS5 version, the Switch 1 is a huge downgrade, so it's a completely different game. So it's going to be one of those interesting ones because it looks like it takes a lot of caveats to play on there. I'm curious how well it plays. So this is the game has already released on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. You can get it way cheaper than it is now because it's going to be $59. But this comes out in November. It's going to be on Switch and Switch 2. Switch 2 is going to be the game key card. Switch gets a free upgrade. That would probably be your path to victory. So you get the Switch version and then you get the free upgrade to Switch 2. So glad to see more companies doing at least a free upgrade for now, whether it's still Switch versions.
And that's Dragon Ball?
Yep.
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
The spiritual successor to Budokai Tenkaichi, which is more their 3D battler versus the 2D one we went with, and then recently a couple
fighters.
Of years, so.
And when I worked retail, I sold many fucking copies of Tenkaichi. So many copies of that series.
There's a lot of people that are big fans with it, and a lot of them are pretty pricey depending on which console you get it on. So. Yep. Outside of that, we got a short snippet of a CG trailer for Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. It's coming to everything as well. Switch 2. I think this is a digital title for $19.99, and this comes out October 23rd. And it's just a glow up of the original one. If you played it on cell phone, PlayStation 3, and 360, I think when this one came out, and maybe Wii, this was like one of their arcade titles. This is basically a good, it looks like a good successor or a faithful recreation is probably the word I meant to say here.
The trailer's good.
Boasting improved graphics and local co-op and PvP modes.
They start off showing like playing Plants vs. Zombies on a CRT, and they like upgrade the TV and the graphics get better. And this was my most played iPad game. I had a second generation iPad, and this is like my most played iPad game probably of all time. It was so much fun just tapping across the screen and getting the sun, collecting the sun things, and dropping the plants where you needed to go, and all that stuff. Replanted. So that's a new one in our remastered and everything else. Definitive Edition. Replanted.
So we have FC26, which surprise, we got been known that the official confirmation that Switch 2 is getting more faithful recreations of the sports series that we've had, not the legacy-based stuff. And so I'm like Richard. I have a copy sitting in my cart somewhere. I'm like,
it's coming up. I know they're going to talk about Madden, but Madden also looked good. It was like, okay, this is a legit. If you bought a Nintendo console over the last 20 years, you got a lesser version than any of the other
Legacy,
consoles,
yeah.
and this looks like it's parity. It's parity with what you would get with an Xbox or PlayStation currently, or PC.
So I'm like reconsidering a lot of these because the ease of playing these games on that console is way easier than fiddling with it on because I've played FC25 on Steam Deck, and it's that's why I hate PC. That's why I'm not a big fan of PC sometimes, because some of that ghosting is in there, and it's just optimization is still has not gotten there yet on PC. I think once Microsoft fixes that, and when the rumors show that they go fully bring Xbox over there and kind of do the hybrid environment, I think we're going to be talking in the next couple of years about PC's probably the place to play. But
agreed.
We'll see. But that's coming out September 26th for both Switch consoles. So I'm like Richard. I'm looking at it pretty tough. I get a decent discount of it on PlayAsia. I'm like, I might buy this physical copy because it's like almost less than $40. So I was like, we'll see.
And it'd be a lot of fun multiplayer.
Yeah. Another surprise of the show was we are getting a Pac-Man World Repack 2. Which is
I'm unreasonably excited about this for some reason. I love these Pac-Man World games. Yeah. They're so good.
I'm excited.
It's that combination of us wanting like more 3D platformers and that AA game like you talk about, Cesar. Like these are the ones to support. I bought Pac-Man Repack on
everything.
I got PS4, Steam. I think I got it on everything I could get it on just about.
This is a sequel to the original on Xbox, GameCube, PS2 that came out in 2002. This has been faithfully remade with sharper images, local co-op. It's just classic platforming in the 3D platforming that's kind of gotten hot within the last half decade.
Thank God, finally. What was the catalyst? Like, what broke this mold to get us back in?
I always thought it was like the ukulele was started with the 64 one, and everybody just kind of just started moving up from there. So that was like the one, like, I want to fucking play a collectathon. It's been so long. And then you start playing ukulele, I say, damn, I don't know about this.
There's a reason I fall off of these. And it's that nostalgia wing, right? Like it's like 15 or 20 years or whatever it is, and people are like, man, I wish I had access to that. And now I have disposable income. I'm a grown adult with kids, and man, I remember that from Xbox. I love that thing.
So that is coming September 26th, pretty soon. PS5, series consoles, I think Switch, and Switch 2 is going to be digital only. Switch, I believe, has a free upgrade. This is where it gets confusing on some of these ones here. So we got a new snippet on Square Enix's Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. It's kind of like a continuation of what was shown through the State of Play. And then we got a confirmation that you get a free upgrade if you buy the Switch version. I think they announced that there was going to be a separate SKU for the Switch 2 one here that wasn't announced yet, but I would imagine it'll still be the code in the box that Japan's got. So, or a game key card.
It's a game key card here, I think.
Yeah, it's one of the two.
So what's the play here? We get a free upgrade with the Switch physical. So we go
buying
Switch
the original
physical
one and
probably.
get the free upgrade. Yeah. I'm buying
or PS5.
I'm buying original Switch if I'm going for that route, and then just getting the free upgrade or even paying for the upgrade because there's some later on in this show that you would pay for the upgrade on the Switch one. And I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So, Persona 3, another worst kept secret. Free Fantizo Metaphor is also, we know, is coming because of the rating boards of Korea. It just wasn't shown in this. So Persona 3's first. Reload, that's coming October 23rd, and it's confirmed that it's going to be a game key card, and that's it. I mean, it just is basically a Nintendo Switch 2 version of the game that's been out on current gen consoles. So then we had a snippet of a new trailer for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment that kind of goes a little bit more into gameplay, little bits of story that comes through. It's kind of a little spoilish if you haven't played Tears of the Kingdom, because there are certain flashbacks that are kind of alludes to this story, and this game kind of fleshes it out a little bit more.
Had this been announced? I was watching this this is new. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it was announced.
It was showing more of it. This is, I think, got leaked out that in Australia that's coming out this spring. which I had to sit there and redo in my brain because I know spring is fall for us and vice versa. So it looks like it's been confirmed for Nintendo of Australia. It's coming out this fall. So
Oh God,
they
that's
said
worse
spring.
than time zones.
We got no date yet, but they did say just this winter.
This year. Yeah.
Well, it says this winter. Winter
Yeah.
technically could go into next February.
I think that's why they went with the Australia one where they said this spring, so which is up until December. So so that would be before December.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
If it doesn't get delayed. So outside of that, we alluded to this earlier in just a few moments ago, is Madden 26 coming out real soon. Nintendo Switch 2 for August 14th, and that's of course coming out. Everything is current gen.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I watched this. I'm not a Madden fanatic. I haven't bought a Madden day one in 20 years. But like the way the quarterbacks moved, who did they show? Lamar Jackson looked like a video clip of Lamar Jackson moving around. And then they showed Patrick Mahomes like going against the throwing side and then moving his body and throwing back across, the other direction. And I was like, holy shit, they nailed the way these people move. Not just the same character model running around with better stats maybe, but they totally nailed the motion capture and stuff like that. And to see that on a new Nintendo thing is still, like we were talking about with FIFA, it's strange. Like for it to have parity with the other versions. And it may be downscaled, or, if you play in handheld mode, it's in 1080p instead of native 4K on the Series X or whatever. But that it looked like a great version of Madden, just like the FIFA or EA Sports, whatever they call it.
And we're getting to that point where these consoles are really not any different from each other, right? You're just playing optimized PC games. That's all it is. So at this point,
or a portable Series S.
Then we got Richard's game of the show, chilling by the fire.
Let's go.
I was gonna say the same thing.
So
it was my game
basically
of the show.
It's out today. That's what it says. So I don't even know how much it is. Is that out today? I didn't realize it was already out. So
it was a shadow drop.
How much is it?
It was a shadow drop. Look it up.
I need to know.
This cozy campfire building sim sees players constructing a campfire in a variety of weather conditions, considering what wood to use and how to make their fire burn while roasting marshmallows. It uses Switch 2's camera and game chat to socialize with friends by the fire.
And if you just pop in a random group online, you're going to be at a campfire with 3 dicks in the view, just sitting around roasting marshmallows.
Don't go to an actual campfire in real life and get real marshmallows and have real conversations. Just do it over your Nintendo Switch.
Do it virtually.
If this is $5, I'm sponsoring this stream. I will purchase a copy for everybody.
This would have been a good pandemic game. If
for
this
sure
came out during the pandemic,
this
probably would be amazing. Everybody, let's buy it. Let's do it.
We can all get together. We can all go outside. Yeah, we can just chit chat. We're not actually doing anything. We're just hanging out.
And then next up, we have Apex Legends, the Switch 2 version coming out August 5th in 4 more days. So along with the new season, and it's an enhanced resolution, smoother performance. So yeah. I think that was a godsend in how they got that running on the original Switch, and a nice testament of like, okay, it works. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look great, but it's not as awesome as the mobile version that we all played and dominated in when everything was a bot. But
just like PUBG,
we also have,
I'm undefeated in PUBG Mobile.
Also had Hella, which was a cute 3D adventure. You see a tiny mouse, familiar on a magical adventure for their Witchmaster. So, and that's also 4 players can play online co-op too, and that's coming to Switch 2 next year as another 2026 title.
That was Mark Knight's game of the show.
Yeah, it looks good.
He doesn't have a Switch 2, but he didn't leave the show telling us like, oh, I gotta have one of these things now.
Yeah, hopefully he does soon, because at some point they're gonna raise the price until they're gonna price him out of it. So he'd be like, yeah, I want one, but I'm not paying.
You're not wrong.
$600 for it.
You're not wrong.
But outside of that, we do have Star Wars Outlaws, which looks really good on that Switch 2. Even though I have a copy on PS5, yeah. But it looks good. I like it. I like these interesting ports they get on here. So I think this is coming out
Cyberpunk,
September 4th.
Having a portable native version of that game. You're right.
And this is I think this is a complete version of it. I'm not mistaken. I think this has all the DLC. I could be wrong.
Yes, the gold edition for $60, which is like
Yeah.
everything.
And this is set
2-story DLCs and all that.
This is set between the Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi films, and it sees scoundrel KVS fighting against the Empire. And according to this person, the performance doesn't look too off in this trailer, though. But I thought I was impressed with it. Then we had a look at Bloober Team's latest creation right after Silent Hill 2, which is Chronos: The New Dawn. This is being published by Skybound.
This look good.
This is coming to PS5 series consoles and Switch. PS5's got the true physical copy. Switch has got the game key card, and Xbox is skipping physical on this one.
Fucking game key card, man.
Mm-hmm.
At least they have an option. I would take a game key card over a non-physical copy on Xbox. At least you have something you can sell back to somebody, you know? I could trade it with Brant. Brant could pop it in his and play it.
So next up, we got a look at Yakuza Kiwami 2. We already had 0. We had 1 from last year. Now 2 is coming out on Switch 2. It looks like a skipping Switch this time. It's just a re-release of the remake of the PS2 game. And then they came through, and I think they said that there was some confusion around that, right? They said there's a physical copy. Nobody knows what it is. And on the Kiwami 2, but there was a physical copy that limited run released on Kiwami 1 for the Switch, which I do own, and that's getting a paid upgrade. So that one they didn't say how much it was going to be, but I think it's $10. It's like 1,000 yen in Japan, so it's probably about $10 here, where you get the Switch 2 version when you just pay the upgrade, which is probably my route. Because they think this is getting another physical release for Switch 2 for Yakuza Kiwami, but nobody knows what type of
game
format it's
card, game
be.
key, or anything. They're doing a great job of keeping these Yakuza games going forward and just releasing them on everything. Even the Wii U got a version of 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Was it Kiwami by that point, or was it just like 1 and 2 is what they called it?
It's a support of 1 and 2. That was it. Yeah. That was it. I think they were just trying to get it going on another console before, Xbox kind of took that flag and put it on Game Pass and, blew up the exposure after it sat there on Sony for a while. So.
That was a great Game Pass collection to have on there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were talking about it.
So then you had more games coming to Switch 2, which is their sizzle reel. You had Goodnight Universe, NBA Bounce, which looked hilarious.
It did look funny. I was laughing at the NBA Bounce trailer.
Like big head mode.
Crazy hats and stuff. Look at me, funny hat.
Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Wheat Flower Wonderland. Holy shit. Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven got a native Switch 2 version. That was another one I went ahead and paid $12.99 because I upgraded my Switch copy to get the Switch 2 version, and it just downloaded. It was available immediately. So
nice. And
I was been playing that one. There's going to be a Switch 2 port of the Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I think
along with the demo.
Yep, demo's out now. You can play it. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Ooh.
Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 comes out October 3rd. Confirmed that was a game key card, which people made fun of them about because they said on the game key card that the game's 40 gigs.
$70 for a game key, and it's a $70 game key card.
Oh my god!
They're charging $69.99.
Yep.
What? I mean, you have something to sell after the fact. You have something to trade in. You can't trade in the digital one. It's not Xbox One.
I paid the extra $10 for that Mortal Kombat Legacy to get the Switch 2 version.
Okay.
So since they put on a 64 game key card, you're paying $69.99. You have Rennie the Magician Pitchford sit there and it's like, if you want something, you'll buy it.
Magician.
Yeah.
And then you don't put your money where your mouth is. So for that game, I don't care about the other ones. For that game, I'm not giving any excuse for that one. After you argued about well, if you want it, you'll pay $80 or $90 for it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Put your money where your mouth is. Yeah. So
the Mortal Kombat Collection added Mortal Kombat Trilogy today. I know we didn't put that in news, but it's an added bonus to that SKU already.
Excited about that one too. And now my copy of Mortal Kombat Collection was stuck on the PS3 is no longer stuck there. So
I don't know if I have that collection. Is that a digital only copy or is that a physical one? Okay.
And it was delisted a long time ago, so it's like it's just sitting there. So outside of that, they said they had 2 more titles they needed to show, and they were both from Square Enix. So your first look, you had The Adventures of Ellie at the Millennium Tales,
This looks
which they were
amazing.
also uses the HD 2D. And
But real time, like a Secret of Mana thing versus
yes,
like a
yeah, this is an
turn-based.
action RPG instead of a turn-based RPG, where you, I think they use on here the gameplay of the classic Zelda as their example. Your play as a main character has a fairy companion that can be controlled co-op, that can help you traverse certain levels depending on the situation. So you can either swap between them, or you can have a friend play with them as you.
In true fairy assistant fashion, she sounds extra annoying immediately.
Yep. So the trailer shows, combat with multiple weapons, swords, bows, chains, sickles, as well as boss battles and dungeon environments. We talked about the 2-player mode. It's going to land on Switch 2 sometime next year. I don't think we got a confirmation this is going anywhere else. I think it's just Switch 2.
Maybe like a first year thing.
They had a shadow drop of a demo, and then they were going to send out a play test later to kind of like critique how you felt about that demo. So there's still some time for this game to cook. And then we have everybody's favorite series that I always hear online, like, I want another Octopath, and we finally got it, Octopath Traveler 0. This one is coming to Switch and Switch 2.
A prequel.
PS5 series consoles is coming in almost anything that's current. Switch 2 is game key card. Switch 1 is complete on card. There's no upgrade path on this one. Square Enix is so confused.
I hate this. Why is Square Enix doing this to us of all people?
Know,
but they then did give us a free upgrade for Dragon Quest 3 within the past 2 days.
Which now I will play. I own that Switch version. I have never played it because I knew it was the worst version of that game, and now it's competent. Now it's a decent one.
There is a caveat to that. If you download the upgrade, it's not a native Switch 2 version. It is they've actually pulled out the PS5 style where, like, all right, we enabled more settings. You can prioritize performance or fidelity, and it's just your standard Switch one, though. That's all it is a standard update. It's not a native Switch 2 copy.
They made a better looking Switch version of it, because if you pick performance, you also take a hit on like the menu resolution. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't reflect like something that should be easy like a menu. You're getting a dip in resolution on that too. But that site, what was that site you turned me on to? RPGsite.net or something like that?
Yeah, .net, yeah.
Yeah. They immediately did a deep dive in that one. And they were breaking down the different comparisons. And
they're big. They're big handheld people, so like they sit there and play it out in like every handheld available. So.
They do the Lord's work. If you have a Steam Deck, ROG, Switch 1, Switch 2, PlayStation Portal,
ROG X, multiple versions of it.
Yeah. They did an anniversary special for Final Fantasy IX, and they always, so that's when he first sent me the site, it was like a review of something with a coffee mug on it. So you always see like these handhelds laid on a table with a coffee mug, and I'm like, these RPGs and coffee, this is one of my favorite things. And the Final Fantasy IX one was like 8 or 9 different devices laid out with the title screen on it with a cup of coffee, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is a good comparison here. It's like, where should you play Final Fantasy IX, the year of our Lord 2025? But yeah, they mentioned some of those changes in there.
D wrote a little bit on this. So this is like, as Richard alluded to earlier, this is a prequel. It also runs on HD 2D visuals. But this one is going to be more true to the original with turn-based battles. But it has some of those like Dark Cloud-ish town building mechanics where you kind of like build up your town depending on certain situations. And the players will start from 0, hence the name in the title is what they refer to. And you're restoring the realm through the eyes of a customizable protagonist. I think this is the first time where you kind of like make your own protagonist.
Make your own hero.
Octopath Traveler 1 and 2, you followed a ragtag group of people that would always meet up at certain points in the story to complete the main overarching quest.
I wonder if this is a good way to get in, like if you can start with this one versus 1 or 2.
I don't think there's any continuity outside of maybe the world is the same. So I think any one of them are good. So if you have one already, I think 2 has been highly regarded as the best one out there.
The better one,
yeah.
Friend of the show, Renee, is our Octopath Traveler expert, right?
I think he put in a lot of time in 1. I don't think he touched 2. So I have to confirm and deny with him later. So I think he only touched 1 because it was just an option on Game Pass when he had it at the time. He's like, yeah, you know what? Let me give this a whirl. So, and he played a good bit of it. So, And that is mostly your partner direct tag. And outside of Brand did bring up that they did update, oddly, Dragon Quest 3.
That was
and
random.
that's the only.
Put that in the show. That would have been a good bit.
That was the only update I've seen that runs better on Switch 2 that is similar to what PlayStation and Xbox is doing now. Like, oh, same game, but we just turn on more settings because we can tell the hardware and here's different. So it's not a native version. So it's like Square Enix right now is in a really, really weird spot where they're trying a whole bunch of different stuff. The only thing they haven't tried is a complete game on cart on Switch 2. But yeah, I threw it out there. That's the only thing they haven't tried yet. But
I mean, you've looked at all the different options, and that's what you've determined. So.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're trying to pick their path for right now and decide where they want to go. So
we've beat the drum on this whole game keycard thing so hard lately, but I know they got panned, and Genki was the one that posted about the Octopath Traveler, Persona 3 Remake, Sparking Zero, and the Pac-Man World 2 all were under 64 gigs. So there's technically no reason aside from that they just didn't want to pay that extra price, which I know all three of us, if they would have said, look, we put them all on the card. Yeah, we wanted to make the games $39, $59, but we put them all on the card. They're gonna be $69. Nice. Okay, sure, whatever. Here's my money. Thank you for putting it all on the card.
Give me the option.
But these third parties wanted a cheaper option, so at least at the moment, I think that's a majority of what we're gonna see is these game key cards. But it could be a year or two down the line where
it's going to take a minute.
It's cheaper to produce these cards, and then we'll be talking about, oh guys, do you remember the crazy first year of the Switch where we had all the weird game key card stuff, and remember how silly that was? And
Cyberpunk led the way and nobody else followed, but it takes a minute for that pivot to happen because these titles have been in the works for months, if not years.
Marvelous is doing it too.
It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Maybe I can't give them an excuse.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better because you have a 15% tariff on Japan. Guess where Switch cartridges are made? So soon you're gonna have 15% increase on Switch cards.
I think about the same for Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken. About 15%
Vietnam
as well.
India
15 to 20.
India just got 25%, right?
Yep.
And that's where they outsource some of that stuff too as well.
Yes. Well, no, the game for the carts are 100% made in Japan. They're all made in Japan. So it's a 15% tariff tax on that one. Yes. It will be a 15% increase in all product coming out of Japan. So it's going to get worse before it gets better. So that's why they, when they made the announcement that, games can be affected. So it's going to price a lot of stuff out there. So it's, as Brand has alluded to, I mean, after you hit production, those carts, 64 gig carts, will drop in price. It's going to take years, though. So, I mean, there's a lot of games ahead of it, probably, because you saw what happened with Sonic Cross Worlds. They're releasing a complete on cart one, not day one, because they couldn't get it in time for production until next year. So, that's just the reality of the situation. A lot of this stuff on the game key cards is because the whole point of that was it was faster, they had more of those, and it was cheaper. And that's why you see so many of them right now. So my argument is that Square Enix has a online store. NISA has a online store. My caveat would be do a small run, put some of these on there. Do a bigger run later, but get some of them out there to see and judge and gauge how many people on there. I wouldn't say print 50,000 cards, but put like 5,000. I know a lot of people hate that, but there's certain games like certain RPGs. I would, like a Trolls game, I would 100% buy day one, $80 off that store. I'm not going to buy everything because there's no way I can afford everything. But there's certain ones like, if you put full on card, I will buy that. So
you want to buy South of Midnight. Give me a way to buy South of Midnight physical. I want that on my shelf. I want to know I have that available in 20 years from now.
out of all these games, there's only been 2 games that are probably warranted a game key card, and that would be World of Hitman, because that is constantly updating and changing. And that one might be
Star Wars.
Star Wars
and
Outlaws.
Star Wars is 94 gigs. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I would argue. I'll take that back. I will argue FIFA and Madden, because those are probably always changing too.
True.
So any sports title, I'm okay with that
Roster
on the
updates.
wrestling and stuff like that. It
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to. It'd be nice if they could do it, but it doesn't have to happen. There's certain things it doesn't have to happen for. So, but like, this is new. Nothing's gonna change anytime soon. So I'm hoping for Brandt's optimistic future. It's a little disappointing to see that even Southeast Asia games are going game key card, because it typically never used to go that way. They used to put everything on card because of internet capabilities over there, but they have also gone that route. Or because I used to buy physical copy Switch games from Southeast Asia because they were full on card, versus over here. Famous example was Final Fantasy X and X-2, which was published by Bandai Namco in Southeast Asia, which had 10.2 on there and not a DLC code, which was released over here.
You saved me on this one. I have the complete in cart 10.2.
Yeah.
I think you even teased me at the time, like, all right, when you finish this current playthrough, wait a couple years, then when you try it again, you can play the Switch one and pop this cartridge in. You'll have both of them.
Or Final Fantasy 7 and 8 too. So because those only got digital releases, but they full on card over there.
Right.
So I mean, but it's gonna get messier now, because we have the whole economical climate is changing. There's always some kind of increase in price.
Daily, it seems.
So it's like, at this point, we're going to see more that gaming is going to be a luxury. We're going to see more people back away from gaming. We're going to see that more now before it gets better. It's going to get worse before it gets better, because.
But we were talking about it after this show, where the same thing we always say: vote with your wallet.
Yeah.
I think Cesar, you've already been doing that, where you were like, "I'm not buying a game key card unless I get it secondhand." And
I'm not giving the digital money either. I'm not giving the shop money either. Absolutely not. Yeah.
You get it secondhand. Richard was like, I may buy a game digitally if I want digitally off of there, but I'm buying first party. And I was like, no, I'll buy first party. And if I want it digitally, I'll go to Steam. That's where I'll get my digital, because I won't give them a cent, man.
Or PS5. PS5 is my backup.
Yeah. Steam will get my copy. I've bought a couple. I think I bought the only game key card I bought was Bravely Default, and I got it for like $20 secondhand.
Secondhand,
and it's a Japanese copy. So I was like, screw it. I mean, Square Enix has got no money from me so far.
Or they're sending me to Steam or PS5. Like, I'm gonna get Evil East Chronicles. I want the book and the map and all that stuff that's coming with it. I'm gonna get the PS5 version of that one.
So I will 100%. Like I told you guys before, I'll buy the Switch version. Free upgrade Switch 2. I'll say, you want to do that? I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll show you. I'll tell you copies to show that this is a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
I bought that Romancing Saga 2 $12.99 upgrade immediately when they were done. I was like, you know what? This is a good option. I'll do that. I hate paying another $13.
They'll know who's buying Final Fantasy Tactics and popping it in and getting that next gen version. They're gonna know.
I'm ahead of you guys. I've already pre-ordered. The pre-order's free for the Switch 2 upgrade.
Oh.
I've already added it to my account. They're like, all right, when you put the cartridge in there, you'll download it immediately. All right, they already have my data. So,
just like series consoles is what you were saying, or PS4, PS5. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They already know my intent to buy a copy of that game just for that upgrade. I've already clicked on that button. It's already installed and added to my account. So.
Is this a Switch specific problem, or are we just running into this because you couldn't do this from Wii to Wii U or Wii U to Switch? Is this just oh my God, we're figuring this out because Nintendo's doing a direct successor type thing? Is that what this is essentially?
I think this is Switch 2 growing pains, honestly.
We have a third company, a third console maker. We just had to muddy the waters even more because people complain about Sony. Oh, $10 for an upgrade. Microsoft's doing these for free. I can't believe Sony's out here charging people for this because Sony started giving them out for free. Now they're charging $10. And we thought Sony was messing up, and now we look at Nintendo's like, pick a lane, man. They're over here like, well, we let the developer do what they want to do, but like everybody's all over the place. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and then you complain about it, and they're like, well, we'll kind of coach them on on maybe you should
How we
think
want to
about
steer
doing
this.
this. Yeah, how the illusion on it, but that's basically blah blah blah. They're leaving it up. I mean, they've been more developer. This Nintendo's been more developer friendly in the last 2 generations than they have been before, where they were more stringent on like,
That's
you got to do this, you got to do that.
That's important.
That's what they care about, especially when they want to get third party to kick off and keep it growing, because they're at the point where they feel like the playing field's even around with the hardware. Like, you're not skipping games on here now because there's a way to get these games running on this hardware for now. So we don't want to scare away any third party developers. You know what I mean? So they want that licensing money in. So especially they know their games are going up to make and cost. So I mean, I don't think we're going to get that zeitgeist of all those Switch games we had before. We're going to get a lot of Nintendo games, but it's probably not going to be the golden age where we saw that backwards compatibility list where there's like 120 something Switch Nintendo games on that Switch console, which was really crazy. I mean, it was 7 years, but 120 games from Nintendo on that console. So
it's a prolific output, and part of that, you have to look back too. They killed another platform. We used to have like a portable division, and we had a home console hardware division, and they nixed that. You had both in one, so you didn't have a team on Mario 3D Land and a team on Mario 3D World. You just got a port of the Wii U one and Mario's Bowser's Fury. Yeah, they're driving me to this distribution model's driving me to Steam. I mean, my copies of Doom 1 and 2 that I bought 8 years ago turned into like the newest versions. 6 months ago when we got those Doom upgrades. Go ahead.
Yep.
Brent, I meant to ask you. I don't want to interrupt you, Richard, but Richard's cutting in on you too, right?
Yeah, every now and then, Richard, you do kind of like cut out.
Really?
But it'll be for like maybe a second or 2 seconds. You'll be saying something and it cuts out and it comes right back.
It's like a packet drop for like part of your like word, not a whole sentence, but part of your word. There's an FY.
Yeah.
Let me kill the TV just in case. I just got
that last one you just did was probably the worst one because it was like, and then it just continued normal, and I was like, okay.
Ooh,
I had to say something at that time before.
Yeah.
First couple of times was just like maybe half a word, but now it's been like, and I was like, I didn't know what you were talking about. So
I'll listen to the audio and see what that does. Let me know if it happens again.
All right, so let's speed this up. I'm tired and I got to jump off here.
It's been 2 hours. We ended up in some deep conversation. Maybe just a news episode.
Yeah, I got it, Cesar. Real quick, these are your PlayStation Essentials. First up, they do want to announce that for the 15th anniversary, you get some free avatars. So starting August 5th, you can pick up avatars featuring Cyberpunk, Hogwarts Legacy, Diablo 4, God of War Ragnarok, and Twisted Metal. And then we get into our essential games. We have Lies of P for PS4, PS5, DayZ for PS4, and My Hero 1's Justice 2 for PS4.
Of course.
That's your standard anime arena fighter thing for the My Hero series.
I'm glad that new deal they made with Namco is already paying off.
Right. And of course, August 4th will be the last day to claim your previous month's free games. Make sure you do, because they have Diablo 4, King of Fighters 15, and Jusant. So add those to your library. I have
these real quick. I think I do, but
I had not added them, so
it
was a good thing I had done that the other day.
There's certain months that we get all like, oh, I've seen Diablo 4 a million times, and we all have Game Pass.
I figured I'd already done it and forgot. Yeah, completely. And last but certainly not least, Nintendo Shadow dropped to the Nintendo Switch Online SNES service here. Mario Paint.
Oh, but Brant, that requires a mouse control.
Exactly. That is what your Switch 2 actually gets, your mouse controls. But fret not, because even if you want to play it on the Switch 1, you could plug in a USB mouse, and it still supports that. Awesome. They added I believe they added some mouse controls as well to some other games like Nobunaga's Ambition and there was something else.
Give us some city next, some city.
But yeah, they've a pretty good addition. It's funny because most Nintendo release games,
to answer your question, it was all three the Koei Tecmo strategy games: Nobunaga's Ambition, Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness, and Romance of the Three Kingdoms 4 Wall of Fire, and Uncharted Waters, New Horizon.
In March of this year.
But most of the time when they drop,
right here, they were just waiting for this moment.
They drop one of these games, they give them like maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes little video just showing, hey, here's what's added to the service. Mario Paint got like a 4-minute video going over all the features and the mouse controls and stuff.
Yeah,
it is.
I haven't tried it yet. Cesar, today my shipment just came in of the mouse Joy-Con grips that you sent us the other day.
Ooh.
I looked and they were, what was it? They were like $16, and then they were like discounted from $20 down to $16, and then they had yet another like 20% off coupon, so they were like $14.
Ooh.
Free shipping.
I need to jump too. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So
it's time.
I plan to use those to try out Mario Paint later on and see how it feels, see how it looks.
There's been some great.
But that is it for your news.
Yeah, I've seen people recreate like Indiana Jones, and specifically, it's Philip Summers has recreated scenes from Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park with the music and the animation. So there's some geniuses out there, some real artists doing stuff in Mario Paint. All I ever did was play the mosquito game, like try to pop the mosquitoes. Have you ever played it, Brent? You'd never played Mario Paint before?
No. Okay. I already saw some madman. I think it was when the Switch 2 came out. He went through the trouble of getting all the dongles and adapters and got the SNES mouse working on the Switch 2. So it was only a matter of time before they added Mario Paint.
I think Hyperkin's come out with a laser version of that, but it's a roller ball. If you have the original Super Nintendo mouse, it's a roller ball. For the sake of time, because we're already 2 hours deep, this was a heavy news episode and a great news episode, I believe. I will forego my games played, which was nothing anyways. So I'll let you guys bring us home with that stuff.
I'm the same. I've been super busy. I've been dabbling in Donkey Kong Bonanza, but that's just, I've been taking it slow, enjoying my time with it, not kind of rushing it. I know that was
it's a savor game.
That's what people criticize. Like some people regretted going through it and blowing through 20 hours so quickly, and they were like, "Man, I wish I would have just kind of just taken my time with it and
bash it.
Just trying to just put it off the check mark on my list to be completed." I'm still in my weird 3DS bullshit thing because I have like 4 or 5 3DSs, and I just pulled some of them out of the closet. I brought me and Richard's infamous new Nintendo 3DS. Small size one that we got on.
I'm so happy we got those all those years ago.
Those are the cool ones.
It's perfect. That is the perfect 3DS model.
This is the one I decided to go with and use as my go-to one for
God,
3DS.
I love that.
Favorite.
I fucking love that system.
I did buy this adapter they're selling on Amazon USA. It's a Japanese adapter for the 3DS that turns it into a USB-C charger, and it works very well. So,
nice. That's
now
convenient.
I just have one adapter that. Now I just have to worry about carrying my USB-C charger, and I just plug this in there for there. So
yeah,
definitely be looking for that now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've just been trying it out. I think the battery on this thing sucks butt because it's been in the closet, my gaming closet here for 10 years probably since we got it. It was like 2015, 2016, Richard, around that time.
Has it been that long? That was like a midnight Black Friday thing. That's when we started like just staying up to see what
That was the first year where they did it at midnight, remember? Because we were all going to go to the store, and we were like, we don't have to go to the store now. We just end up playing games the rest of the night. We didn't have to go at 4 a.m. to go some bull crap. Nonsense.
We still got out for like pots and pans though, right? But we didn't have any games to hunt.
Yeah.
And I got that Zelda 2DS that year, and that thing's still sitting in the box. The Ocarina of Time green 2DS. They were just sitting out at Walmart in this kiosk. I was like, $100? Sure, I'll grab one of these.
Still got a new Nintendo DS XL from that sale too with Mario Kart 7 sealed right there that hasn't been used yet. It's a turquoise one. So
Yep.
I've got several 3DSs around just for backups. That's why I never panic when one goes under. So I also have been plugging it in. I went on iFixit.com and they still offer batteries for that. And I ordered another one that's coming this way, so I can swap the battery out. So it worked pretty well. My 2DS one, which yeah. So, and that's
way
it.
easier to change.
I will kick that over to B Rant over here.
Rampy
The only
Key.
thing I got a whole bunch of stuff in, but the only one I want to highlight is I do want to play this game right here, and I'm going to bring it out here. It's a Victory Heat Rally for the Switch.
I've seen that on
Which is
Steam.
a,
I think it's on my Steam wish list. Yeah.
Which it looks like a Sega Genesis Type S outrunish
Heck yeah.
Varsity Pro AM game. So that's that came out today on Amazon. If anybody's looking for that, and I stupidly pulled a Brant and bought a Warren's Armageddon Anniversary Edition. I didn't need it.
Noted Worms fanatic, Rampy.
Sure,
Worms Armageddon is a good one.
And then my delisted games that I bought this week was delisted, which is actually very good. John Wick Hex.
Oh. Always heard that was a good game.
Bought it for VGP had it. It was like $29, and now they're like almost $100 on eBay. So,
damn,
it's because it's gone. You can't get it digitally. That's it for me. I kick it over to Brant.
Real quick with the games acquired. I believe this is one of Cesar's favorite Assassin's Creeds.
Ooh.
I've got a Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Man, you are on a Assassin's Creed roll here.
You weren't here that one week, and I did get Unity in that week, Cesar. So,
can y'all play that co-op? Can you immediately jump into that, Cesar, or is it like special co-op missions?
It's only like 4 missions or something like that. That's like when they were teasing co-op. So, and I think
I would watch the hell out of a stream of y'all playing that.
So now I think I have everything but like Odyssey and Valhalla.
I have those. So
which
I think I have
I'm not.
Those might be the two
necessarily.
I have.
I'm about to say those are the two that I'm not really looking to get into.
The only one I don't have is a physical copy of Rogue on PS4. I think it's the European copy. Nice. It's been sitting in my cart on Amazon for the longest time because I think it's like it goes from like $18.99 to $20. I'm waiting to hit when it's 15, and I'll jump on it. I was like, $15, come on!
We didn't get that here.
So.
We didn't get it on
all those games
digital.
Were
digital only here. Okay. Yeah,
all those games were super cheap on Switch. That's why I just bought them on Switch and been playing them on the Switch too. Also got my copy of Shadow Labyrinth in for PS5. Along with from Limited Run, Soul Reaver.
The greatest 5 hours of gameplay I've ever played, and then fell off of it.
Before you get stuck.
It was so much fun, yeah. You were lost.
I did the special slipcover from Limited Run on the Switch version, and then I ended up just getting the regular PS5 one on the Amazon. So, which has no slipcover. Yep, does not have a slipcover. Yeah, it does not. Not on the standard retail release, no.
And then last, but certainly not least, I had a cousin who had this console. It was my first time seeing it, and I was blown away with how thin it was back in the day. I still have my original fat model PS2, but I splurged and found for like just under $100 complete inbox PS2 Slim.
That's a great deal.
Came with everything, including like the broadband setup disc.
Yeah.
And a first party controller. I mean, everything.
That's a great deal. What a great system. How it condensed that big giant PS2 down into that Marvel. It was amazing.
Just like looking at and then I literally had my I still have my fat PS2 back here and plugged it up months ago when I played like some Guitar Hero 2. And I literally sat the Slim on the fat PS2, and I'm just like, man, this is freaking ridiculous. It's like 3 times the size of this Slim console. It's ridiculous.
Crazy what they did with that thing. Be careful. I've never had this experience with the Slims that I had, and when I was working retail, I never saw it. but apparently the ribbon inside that Pop Top Slim will scratch discs. And I've seen it on Reddit, and I don't know if it's a case of like Reddit grabbing hold of something, and because they tell me my 4K Blu-ray player doesn't switch between HDR and Dolby Vision natively, and I've never had a problem with that. And everybody on the 4K Blu-ray threads is convinced that's a thing. But just something to keep in mind, like keep in the back of your mind, maybe first time you try it or first couple games, just throw something cheap in there, like a SOCOM or something. Don't slap an expensive PS2 disc in there just in case.
Yeah, I definitely played just to make sure it played. I threw something in there.
Yeah.
I cleaned it first. It had a decent amount of dust it blew out. But other than that, it seems to play fine. And now the mod scene is so crazy. You can actually, there's a way to boot games off of a like a micro SD card that you pop into a basically like modified memory card unit, and you can
like
load PS2 games.
Wii and GameCube.
Yeah, you can load PS2 games off that. I guess the only caveat right now is you can't load PS1 games off of there, and it's something crazy though, but like the read and write speeds through the memory card slots are actually faster than they would be like reading off disk, or
no way.
Even if you had like the I don't know if it's faster than like the broadband, using the broadband adapter, because I've seen people mod the fat units and put like a SATA SSD in there and load games off of that.
They just have stuff coming from a computer straight to it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I may mess with that one day. Other than that,
good find.
Still playing some Bonanza. I'm pretty far. I think I've got to be closer to the end. So I'm not. I'm still thoroughly enjoying this game. It's such a just a fun game, and there's a lot of like homages and reference to the Donkey Kong franchise throughout, and it's done very well. Other than that, I did boot up this game, boot up this game called oh gosh, what is it? EX Zodiac, which you two were very familiar with.
Yeah.
I think it's normally like $11 on Steam, and it was like on sale for like $5. This is the most Star Fox 64 game ever, and it is done so well. It is so good. It feels good. The music's good. It is 100% nostalgic. If you want that old school Star Fox vibe, it 100% does it. It just. But
you're a mech, right? It feels like a late.
No, it's a
starship.
It's still that.
Yeah.
It's still a ship.
I'm thinking about
it's 100%.
There's one called like Ex Deus or something like that. That's kind of like it looks like a late Saturn game. It might be a Saturn port, as a matter of fact. Yeah, Ex Zodiac is awesome.
I think I've got like 4 levels or so into it, but it's a good ass game. I highly recommend it. I think isn't this still kind of like a technically like not early access, but like it's still being worked on, being updated, I guess.
It's been for a long time.
In proc, yeah.
This is the first game I remember Cesar showing me on the Steam Deck when he first got it. I was like, I can't believe I'm playing this on a handheld. It's crazy.
It runs beautifully on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, like I said, I tinkered a little bit when I got this PS2 Slim, but nothing else really. So,
what was the first game you popped in it? I got to know what that is.
I actually popped in Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex and played like the whole first little area, and that one, it's
the real Crash 4.
Not the real Crash 4.
Not the real Crash 4.
It's weird because I mean, of course, it's a Universal Interactive. Still had the license. It was a Konami game,
published. Yeah. And a
but
CD-ROM too, right?
it was, but it's done by was it like Treasure Tales or something like that?
Traveler's Tales.
Traveler's Tales.
Your Lego studio.
Yes, 100% Lego. And before that, they did a bunch of the Disney games on PS1 and stuff like that too. So
very talented studio.
But you can tell this is their first time with Crash. Eventually, I think they did another Crash game. It looks like Crash. It mostly feels like Crash, but it's definitely a step back from especially like how polished and good Crash Bandicoot Warped felt like.
The Insomniac titles.
Yeah. No, those were Naughty Dogs.
Naughty Dog is what I meant. You're right.
But of course they had 4 games with Crash, and it's not terrible, but you can to somebody that, especially when you compare it from the previous entry on the previous generation, like it's like, oh, it's just enough like Crash to piss you off because it's just not quite right. But it's okay. It's not terrible. It's like we have Crash Bandicoot at home. But
another studio's take. They wanted to move on from that. They wanted to do Jak and Daxter was being cooked at that point.
Jak and Daxter was good. Mm-hmm. To me, that Jak and Daxter felt like the natural progression that first game felt. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's like what I would feel like a next gen Crash Bandicoot would be, but it's got more personality. If you felt that polish, what they learned with Crash and implemented it in different ways. And you had this big open world and all this stuff. So
yeah,
and then completely turned it on its head for the next 2 entries after that. So, but
Grand Theft Auto Jak.
Yeah. That's it for me.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add?
I think I'm good.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.